see now. Let's see now. Let's see now. Let's see now. Just trying to figure out how to do this music thing. Okay. Okay, so that is not how I do audio. Okay, so that is not how I do audio. Okay, so that is not how I do audio. One second. The problem is I'm trying to play music, but because I have the stream up at the same time to check how the volume is, I can't really do that. I'm gonna have to have another source in order to do that in the future. Anyway, let's just hope it's at a good level and I wonder if you can hear the seagull in the background. It's like very... Seagulls have like a tendency to drop off their babies outside of their nests, to just wander around. They did that outside of our house. So now the seagulls are just going crazy protecting their baby. I think I have like a battle with the magpies too, because they are also going crazy. If the audio is awful, just mute it. computer. And I'm too technologically inept. I don't know. I have it in the title now. There's the link. It's probably not how you're supposed to do it, but I want people to access this and find it. Because it's my dad's music. So now I'm just gonna rant about something. I'm gonna look away from the stream and it's like a posting sometimes. I care a lot about character design. It's like it shows. Show that it's like, this shirt is like, this is peak character design. And sure, it's a great shirt. Not anyone can be afraid of it. But peak character design is about presenting a character in a way that is believable. Like if the character would wear this shirt, like the character would wear this shirt like this, that's great. But it's like a character that wouldn't, and of course them wearing that this shirt would be useless. They would wear the shirt who they are. And that is what character design is. It's not about creating characters. At least not for me. It's about showing who they are in the most authentic way possible. And if they are cool, then they are gonna wear cool clothes. But if they're not cool, then they're not gonna wear those clothes because they'd be too, I don't know, shy. It wouldn't fit. Honestly, I think like My Hero Academia has some peak character design in it, just because they are just so themselves to the max. They are those characters to 100%. They're ridiculously cute. Kind of wish show went in a different direction. But not everyone. Well, okay, everyone can be a great writer. That's under their intentions. But it's like, I think I dropped off after like I read a part in the manga. I think my shirt just got stuck on my mic. My setup isn't great. I read ahead in the manga before the anime came out with the arc involving Mirio, I think they said his name. And he's a great character, and I think the concept of him adds a lot to the story. But they took him out of like the tension far too quickly. By that I mean, it is very good tension that Midoriya keeps getting tested on his insecurity with having someone who was supposed to have his power just existing and being better than he is with that power. And that is a great catalyst for character development. It's a great way to show him struggle, feel insecure, want to improve, and doing so recklessly. It's good stakes, it's good drama. So by removing Mirio from the equation, by removing his power, and getting Midoriya to have this... Oh, spoilers by the way, if you haven't seen My Hero Academia. Anyway. They remove his power and Midoriya has this talk with him where it's like, if you could have my powers, would you? And Mirio says no. And then character arc over. But that's not really all that satisfying. Like, they could have done so much more than that with him. And I don't blame them for not realizing that. But like, I've thought about this. Like, I like thinking about stories that and how I would improve them. It's one of my favorite ways to entertain myself. If they had instead, what's his name? Tamaki? No, I don't know. The nerd, not nerd, the very anxious guy who leaned a lot on his power, Sun Eater. If they had removed his power instead, now immediately that would be a way more dramatic show, a way more dramatic moment. Because not only would that like be insanely sad because he is such a pessimistic character already, who leans so much on his power to get at him, to like feel like he's doing a difference in the world. But also, Mirio is his best friend, and having him lose his power, like his best friend lose his powers, would bring him into center stage for the narrative and keep Midoriya being tested on his insecurities. Because every success that Mirio will have is going to reflect negatively on Midoriya. Simply because Midoriya is insecure and he's going to like think about everything that Mirio is doing could be so much better and so much more heroic if he wasn't so selfish, within parentheses, and keeping All Might's power just because he wants to be a hero. Now, that is a very serious take, and that is something that I would enjoy reading or watching. But I get that most people don't, or a lot of people at least don't, want such serious things from their entertainment. They just want an escape to a place where they don't have to face those insecurities. But I think it would be more interesting if they did it that way. gotten into a lot of modern anime anymore. I watched it a lot as a teenager, but like now that I'm older, it doesn't really appeal to me anymore. I've tried watching it, like stuff like Dr. Stone or whatever it was called. It was far too ridiculous. Like, it pretended to be a smart show while not knowing at all what they were talking about. At least within the first episodes. Just me and my brother got immediately taken out of it when they were like, oh my god, the superpowered teenager. He was said to be able to fight bears. And he's like, what? Wasn't this supposed to be a science-y anime? People can't do that. What? And it just broke immersion so much. I get that it's supposed to be a shonen, but it was just so silly. It's like, either you're a silly show, or you want to be taken seriously. If you enjoyed it, that's no reflection on you. Like, we all enjoy different things. Like, I enjoy some stupid things. I mean, my favorite anime, aside from Hunter x Hunter, is Kill la Kill. Which is like... which has been hated on a lot for just being very ecchi. And it is. But somehow it has some of the best female characters I've ever seen in an anime. Like Ryuko Matoi, fucking gold. Satsuki, excellent. Even Nanan Yakuzure, like I know all their names, she's like... they are all excellent. Her eyes aren't really centered, but that, it still works, I don't care. That is a problem I have in my art. I tend to struggle making the eyes match, but as long as it looks good, it doesn't really matter. Like, if you stopped watching Kill la Kill at like the first 3 episodes, I think most people, like, the whole plot line of like, oh, you should get naked, it's who you are inside, you like this, they drop that pretty quickly and just start talking about other things. Like, they have like an entire short film in the form of an episode where they assimilate into the club society of Kill la Kill's universe. And things are starting to go great for Mako's family, like financially. They start living in a better place, and they start being blinded by greed to the point where they have Mako get like a super suit, like one of those Tiger Override, those. I watched the dub and the sub. I like it. One of those suits. And fight Ryuko. So they can keep their money. As per Satsuki's design, she like tempted them with greed, and then they were almost trapped in it. And that's really thematic and really good. And I want more writing like that in anime. And Ryuko, of course, refused to fight back because it's her best friend, and she knows she's being blinded by greed. It's a good show, and if you can look past the ecchi stuff, it's like just one of the best watches ever. It has a beginning, middle, and an end, not just meandering on like most anime. It isn't a bad thing to meander on, but like, you're not really saying anything with what you're doing. And you don't always have to say something. That's like I have to preface you're allowed to like what you like and you're not lesser for it. Even if it is stupid, like I liked My Little Pony as a teenager because it was a good show. It had great music, like stellar music. And they really cared. Like Friendship is Magic, they really cared. And you can feel that. And when you're an adult, you just want something innocent sometimes. It wasn't a perfect show, of course not. But it was nice for kids. And I think it was really great because the previous My Little Pony shows had like fell into trap of like, oh my god, I'm girl character, I'm also girl character, let's do each other's hair. Just did not know how to write women. And they really leaned into making sure that all of them were different. It could be relatable to a different girl, you know? I think that's really sweet. I mean, I certainly like a show that has more than one masculine character. Masculine woman, I mean. Didn't really have any guy characters. But it wasn't really for the guys. That isn't to say that guys can't enjoy it, but it wasn't like made with them in mind. Linnea, I think, who made like a Impression Sunrise, that painting, and he got pressed for like what the name of it was, and he said that name. This is in the title, and it inspired an entire art movement, or at least the name of it, and I think it's really cool. It's a magical girl one that I'm making. And there's something I've noticed about magical girls. Just as I haven't watched a lot of magical girl anime. I started watching Sailor Moon, but it wasn't my thing because they had the thing that like I said about early My Little Pony, it felt like all of them just had the same personality, just a different spice to it, except for maybe like the lesbians and the nerd girls, but I never got to the lesbian part. All of them had personality. I like boys, and then that was about it. With a little bit of spice. It's just I couldn't relate to any of them, and just felt empty for me. Like, I'm not judging anyone who likes it, but I need a little bit more substance and spice to a show. Maybe it got better later, but I don't know. It's kind of the reason I couldn't really get into One Piece either. Like, the characters are great once you're in their backstories. Because, like, the backstories are so insanely detailed and just very compelling. But then when the backstories are over, the characters are just so static. And, like, never change. They have like their 3 personality traits, and they never like develop as friends. They're just where they're at for several years. Like, I know Usopp has like this character arc thing going on. That's really cool. I think I never got that far. But like, I wish I had more. Anyway, what I said about magical girls, because like Card Captor Sakura, I watched some of that too. Quite a bit. Never finished it. It was very innocent and like very pure, and that's nice. It's not really for me. And then the reflection of that, because you know, when people get tired of a genre, they have to like deconstruct it. So we have Madoka Magica, and then all the Madoka Magica copycats, and that just goes in a completely different direction. And I haven't watched Madoka Magica. My little sister has. She liked it, so I'm not gonna judge it. It's just not my thing, and I know it's not gonna be my thing because I don't like full angst like that. Like, Hunter x Hunter has like the best tone, I think, because it is the perfect example of what actual like morally gray or just a non-black and white like world, because it does get really dark, but there's also gets very bright. Like, it's not just grayscale and it's not just black and white. It has a lot of nuance. I think it's fantastic. And I like things that can have that tone because it's what feels most realistic. Because the world isn't all dark, and it isn't all bright, and it isn't all grey. It's a combination of all of it. And I get that a lot of people don't want to watch stories for them to be like life. They want them to be an escape or just entertainment or something. I don't really know how other people enjoy things. Because I haven't been in their head. So I want to write something with that kind of tone. Now, I'm not gonna go full dark with this one, but I am gonna go psychological with it. It's funny how psychological as like a genre is only like psychological horror and that's it. Like there's no there's no happy stories with psychological as a part of it. Maybe like Lovely Bones, but that's horror, just very realistic horror. I need to watch that movie. I think it looks cool. I really liked how it looked. When I sketched it up, and I didn't want to change the silhouette, so this is how she looks now. This is what she's wearing. And if you have a problem with that, you can I'm only going to stream, at least with the mic on, until my brother gets home. I don't want to have to, like... Or maybe he wants to join. He's also pretty smart. If he has the energy for it, we can have some discussions with Steve. Perhaps. As you can see, I kind of changed the sketch where the plants were in relation to one another, because it works worked on paper to have them the opposite way, but didn't really work in the composition. Fit in this like size. I don't want to merge these now. I don't like working with a lot of layers. Down here is an older illustration I made. This is her. But the composition was pretty damn boring. The colors are nice, but you know, took those from a color scheme thing and just messed around with it. I'm trying to figure out how to work with color again. It's like kinda when you're working, like when you're improving art, it's like you improve and then like you find something that you lack and then you incorporate that and improve and then you find something you lack and kinda have to keep working on it. And I mean kinda like I used to be great at color and now I'm greater at other things, so I need to catch up with that. And I'm doing that by like looking at how other people do it, because I could usually just, with a lot of these things, just stream of consciousness drawing. Just drawing whatever came to mind and like going with that. And I need to bring up like the library and having my visual library up to the point where I can do that with color again. Because I'm no longer satisfied with the colors I can bring forth with stream of consciousness anymore. They need improvement. Same thing with my composition. And I'm not saying that insecurity or anything. I like improving. It is one of my favorite things about art, that you can always learn something new. Just by drawing a different style or just a different way of coloring, like you can. There are 100 ways to draw the same thing. More even. You can render it in so many different ways. It's about finding the one that expresses what you want to express the best, at least for me. Well, I guess that's the difference between a craftsman artist and like what I am, which is just expressing myself kind of artist. Speaking this much. would become too sterile and boring. Like, you need a little bit of edge to it. You don't have to look up at reference for everything. That's too dense. It calls too much attention to itself. It's supposed to blend in with the background, and by adding too much detail like I just did, I called too much attention to it, so I'm just gonna move that into bigger shapes. I had gone in and drawn every single flower perfectly, and then saw a big, like, not only would it call too much attention to itself, but it's not the focal point, I would see that I was far too distracting and had to erase it, but I would hesitate to do so because I put so much effort into it. Your focus should never be to make something perfect. It should be to make something look good. Except for if you're like doing like a sketch for 3D modeling, but that's like a different thing entirely. That looks like flowers. Meanwhile, I'm just doing random shit. This is how I draw stuff. Random stuff. It's like this decision making, which you always do in art. It's constant, like, should I do this, should I do that? And I don't hesitate. I just go. Like, even if I make a mistake, I know how to fix it. Especially digitally, I can just undo and erase. When I'm painting, like traditional painting, I don't keep track of my colors. Even if, like, something at this side and the other side of the canvas are supposed to be, like, the same color, I don't, like, make enough as per design of like one color, because I like the little shifting in the colors that happens. trying to start streaming more often. I only started streaming a few days ago. Like, because I'm so fast at drawing, I think I could be really good at it. And I have a lot to say, even if I sometimes struggle walking. Which might not be noticeable, but I'm certain I will clam up as soon as I notice I'm walking. Ups and downs. It's allowed me to build up like a skill set. But to let him to swing is scary. Especially when I cannot see everyone's faces. Because I don't really know if the things that I'm saying are making sense unless I can tell what someone's reaction is. Perspective is way off over here. Just gonna computer crashed. Or at least my audio. Heard somewhere that having an outline around your focal point and main focus makes it pop more, so I'm gonna do that now. Trying to decide if I want to have like action lines and stuff to establish color, or not color, shading, or if I'm satisfied with this, I'm just gonna jump right into color. Because I don't wanna take away focus from this. I'm gonna be satisfied with this and just trying to figure out what I want to do with the color. Because I know like her color scheme has a lot of pink in it and stuff, but like just adding a bunch of pink isn't gonna make it look good. Like I need a plan, but I don't really have a picture in my head of how I want it to be yet. I'll just go with the flow. Don't fuck up. This. Well, I guess we're gonna be here for a while. Oh, there it goes. And it fucked up. Where is the line open? Where? Where the fuck? So annoying. Like one of my main interests is like storytelling, of course, but also like something that I do a lot, like every day, is play Genshin Impact, and there's something that's frustrated me with it. It's like, no hate on you if you like the story, but and the backstories, they get so much praise for like being so detailed, but there's something I don't get about them, and it's the fact that they have this like dramatic stuff, but it's always with NPC number 3. Like, hardly any of their backstories connect back to the main characters, like the main cast. Like, you have so many characters and they have hardly any relation to each other. I mean, there's Diluc and Kaya, but I mean, according to the backstory, they should absolutely hate each other, not be able to be in the same room. Instead of like bickering, just like they should not be on speaking terms, you know? If I understand their backstories correctly, it's like, it confuses me how in every scene they are with each other, they're just like arguing brothers, like regularly, not acknowledging at all the fact that they have this like, I mean, Kaya a little bit betrayed Diluc. So I just find it very confusing. What I would have done is, for one, have them have more animosity between each other. Like Jean and Barbara. Like, what is with that dynamic? Like, I know they're like, they got raised, they're a sister who got raised by like, their parents divorced and they got raised by like, I think Jean got raised by her dad and Barbara got raised by their mom. But with them too, like, none of their interactions on screen suggest that they have like that strain of a dynamic. It's more like Barbara just really looks up to her and like struggles to express that with like her own insecurities rather than them actually being separated as children, you know? And they are the characters like who have connection to each other in their past. But like so many of the others don't. Like Sucrose had this like group of 3 friends who like all wanted the same thing, but it was like she wanted to make this garden for them or something, this paradise, so that they could all be friends again. Like, that's a pretty good story, but why haven't you introduced like one of them as like the playable cast, you know? It's always like, oh, we're new co-workers and we get along great. There's no tension. I think it would have been cool because like I think it said in both of their backstories that Barbara hung out a lot in the library as a kid, and so did what is her name? How am I blanking? Fischl. She's one of my faves. One of my mains at least. Fischl felt misunderstood and became a Shinibyo. And like both of them hung out in the library, I think, as a part of their backstory. So I think it would have been cool if they added like a thing of them becoming friends, like as children, and then Fischl started leaning into her new persona, and like it would be more dramatic if she like used to have a friendship with Barbara and cut ties with her to like be this new person who she was more satisfied with, who she felt was more interesting than who she actually is, and that making Barbara heartbroken. Like there's an actual story that could be told there rather than just like this happened. Honestly, I kind of lost faith and I stopped listening to... I started skipping like the story after like the Raiden Shogun arc. Because like I didn't like that they needed a waifu of this fucking sociopath. You know? She stole people's visions and like everything bad had happened. They have to sum it up as being the Fatui's fault to make it so that you don't feel wrong about wanting to have Raiden Shogun in your party. But like, she did a lot of fucked up things. It's like, oh no, it was her persona. Like, that's a cop-out. And I'm okay with having like a villain in the party. Like, obviously it has no story implications, the summons. Like, there's no interactions between the characters in your party. Like, it's not canon that they're with you. Like, at all. Yeah, my brain is not in coloring, but right now I cannot. is the manga I'm working on. I'm gonna just do that for a little while now. Probably change the type.
Anyway. Let's talk into my cake. your Wi-Fi.
Just gonna put some food on. thank you all for joining me today. I am going to round off the stream now. Goodbye.